My name is Amy McKay and I'm a fourth grade teacher at a public school in Massachusetts. I was very fortunately selected to be one of the scholarship recipients for the 40-Hour Teacher Workweek Club this year. And in my fourth year here, this has really transformed how I teach, how I relate to my students, and how I organize my classroom. So I can't say enough good things about the club and what I've learned so far, but let's get into a few details about what I've gotten out of July, August, September, and October. So, like I said, I'm in my fourth year of teaching, and this has been the best start to the school year that I have had so far. And I think that that comes from having done it 3 times previously, but I found myself at the end of last year reflecting back to the beginning and really hoping that I would have gotten started off on a better foot. And reading the club materials for July and August really helped me be very, very intentional about how I started my year. So first off, I'm sitting in the new classroom that I was really fortunate to move to at the beginning of this year. And the club materials helped me immensely to set up my classroom so that it was the perfect learning environment for my students and myself. Some things from the club materials that I used to set up my classroom, I was really purposeful about how I designed my classroom for movement and for having separate spaces depending on what we were working on different parts of the day. So to give you some examples about what I mean, because that sounds very vague, I made sure to take my beloved small group table and position it more in the middle of my classroom this year. That seems so obvious now that I sit here and I'm saying it, but I gained from the club materials an understanding of where the actual big furniture needed to be in order for my students and I to be most successful this year. So I positioned myself in the middle of the classroom, and that's really made my station work, that in and of itself made my station work so much easier and have a better flow. At the recommendation of the club materials, I purchased also a container for myself that holds all of my teaching materials. I find that students come to my small group table and they're prepared and they're ready to go. And one of my biggest struggles was that I was always the one getting up to get a dry erase board and a marker, or get a sharp pencil, or grab the stack of guided reading materials that I had left on my desk across the room. So though that little cabinet has actually helped me to be more organized and be more on top of my game, which is something that I try to emphasize with my students for them to be doing. I also have really finessed the way that my small groups run by having a board where the students can look and know exactly what they're doing at each station, and even more importantly for them, what materials they need to bring. And that was something that I never had up on the board before, but it has cut down so much on the little questions of, do I need my math? The last thing that I still need to work on these other remaining 3 quarters in the club and even next year is becoming more organized. You may remember the picture of my desk that I showed in my application video. My desk last year was piled with 3 or 4 2-foot piles of papers, copies, documents, printed out emails for various reasons, and all sorts of things. I really hit the ground running this year on getting myself set up to be organized. I have a finished work bin across my classroom that has different file folders for different assignments, and I have a file to my left here that has a folder for each day. These are systems that I set up. The idea, Angela's idea of every paper having a place, the systems that I have set up in theory are making me a more organized teacher. However, my desk at the end of the day, still not great. There are piles still. I am still the pile teacher. So that's something that I'm going to work on and be really intentional about improving the next quarter. I really think that I can get myself out of the paper trap. I'm working on becoming as paperless as possible, and that's my big goal for myself over the next quarter. Keep your fingers crossed for me. I want to just take a moment to thank everybody at the 40-Hour Teacher Workweek Club and Angela for this scholarship opportunity. It's made me a balanced, intentional, and very, very happy teacher already this year, and I look forward to seeing what the coming months will bring. Thanks so much.